South Florida has seen some close calls already. You're dealing with a pandemic. You're in the middle of it. You're mayor of a major American city. Now hurricane season coming along. What's your plan, your strategy for dealing with hurricane season coinciding with the pandemic?
Yeah, it's much more challenging. Obviously, we are accustomed to beginning the conversation of the beginning of hurricane season around this time, and so our residents are sort of experts at dealing with that kind of natural disaster. When you combine that with a pandemic, it just makes it that much more difficult. I mean, it's difficult enough to run the city and to try to reopen the city carefully without a looming hurricane season. And so we are, we're doing what we do during hurricane season, but we're layering on top of that the additional rules and regulations that we've placed on our residents throughout this pandemic to make sure that, for example, stocking up on canned foods and having the kinds of items that need to be stored during a hurricane, that we have the capacity in terms of the throughput in our supermarkets to be able to meet that demand.
Do you need more money from Washington?
I've been a proponent of the second stimulus, and I also have been a proponent of, and I think there have been some movement on modifying the first stimulus to allow cities to use those funds to pay for first responders. I think it would be a tremendous tragedy if at the end of our budget year, which is in September, we have to cut the salaries of those who have been on the front line throughout this crisis. And really, all our employees are frontline employees, because it's not only our police and our firemen, it's our general employees that support our police and fire. It's our sanitation workers who are exposed. So our entire city workforce has met this challenge, and it would be awful if at the end of the year we would have to cut their salaries or furlough them. So I have led a bipartisan group of mayors throughout the country to advocate for the portion of the second stimulus bill that would help cities with their budget deficits. I do believe that that's something that we should get some federal funding for.
You said, Mayor, that you're getting